boy Stevie Jobber. It's your boy Dangerous Dude. The Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Wait a one. The boy Stevie Jobber. Dangerous Dude. Stay dangerous.
Woo! I had the baby monitor right next to me.
Smoke circle with the baby monitor.
Oh shit. Bang. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy Stevie Jobber.
It's your boy Dangerous Dude.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Thank you.
And today we are talking about the releases. We've been a little on edge about the release of R-Truth. And it comes as number 30, 31 in the long list of releases in 2025. So what I feel like is best that we do on the rise of this fan outrage from R-Truth being let go. I'll go down the list of all the names. If we touch on if we skip over a name you guys want to say something about, leave it in the comments. But we're pretty much just gonna air our grievances because we've been tense all week. Yeah. You know, it's just been a wait. You know, and it's time to get some ish off our chest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna hit the list. These are the approximately 30 to 30 something releases so far for 2025.
And that's the key word, so far.
So far. First off, we got Duke Hudson. I believe there's him and one other from Chase U that ended up getting released. Duke Hudson, 35, Australia. He's been there since 2019. Thought he had a promising future. I think I remember seeing him in NXT when they first had their breakout tournament. He wasn't bad. They just never seemed to use him until Chase U. And there they captured the tag titles. That was a journey. And I always feel like Chase U has this thing that's very niche to NXT because it feels like college ball.
Yeah.
So there's a certain sort of they capture that feeling, but it is hard to elevate that into anywhere else. I think that may be where Duke Hudson fell in a hole here.
Mm-hmm.
But they started off the year in January with Duke Hudson. Duke, do you have any feelings about Duke Hudson, or are you saving it for later?
No, I feel like that one was kind of justifiable, I guess. I mean, outside of Chase U, he really didn't have anything going for him.
Mm-hmm.
And there can only be one Duke when it comes to WWE, and that's me. So, yeah, I can understand that cut.
I mean, we speak on that, but let's speak on from Duke and Chase U to another faction on the main roster that was kind of struggling to find its way. Final Testament. Now, this comes off the back of some steam that we already kind of have, not about a release, but about the booking of Karrion Kross. Because looking at it as a whole, Final Testament should never have failed. In a Vince McMahon kind of world, they were too big to lose. You got two big, meaty men like Akam and Razor who can move. You got Paul Ellering, one of the greatest managers of all time. You got Scarlett, and you have Karrion Kross, who generally has got youth, but also has veteran learning, uh, international experience. He's been in the indies. You know, he's big into film, but he's also big into martial arts, but he's also into uh passion for the wrestling itself. And it's just odd that there's been this trail, and you can probably tell it better than I have, of Final Testament, Karrion Cross specifically, being essentially the turning point for a lot of characters today
Yeah.
that we see on WWE programming.
Um,
For AOP to fall off, man, like what happens here?
yeah, this one was probably the first one that I didn't understand when they did it, why they did it. Because like you said, on paper, this shouldn't have failed.
Mm.
And in a Vince McMahon world, ironically enough, it didn't fail. It was actually pretty legit. You like you said, you got two big meaty men who could move, and were, legit. They were legit badasses like Karrion Cross. They were into martial arts. I think the one brother was actually I think he's actually like a jujitsu champion or a sambo champion or something like that.
I can believe
But but on paper, this shouldn't have failed.
it.
And then booking, I think it I think for lack of a better term, it was just shoddy booking from WWE to let this fail when you have one of the greatest managers of all time, Paul Ellering,
Mhm.
two legit tag team members who are former tag team champions. And then you have Karrion Cross, who has been somewhat of like the Tony Todd of Final Destination, pinpointing every story of a character and where the downfall is going to be. He did it
Mhm.
with Sami Zayn. He did it with the Bloodline. He did it with Seth. He did it with Ray and Dom. He's done
New
it with
Day.
everybody. He did it with New Day. Like he did it with Miz and Truth. So to
He
where
did do it with
this
Miz and Truth. That's an interesting point there.
so to where this should have failed and is, I don't know, because it shouldn't have. This should have been one of the things that catapulted everybody in that group. And then to only bring them back for not even a full year and then release them, it didn't make sense.
I tell you, it leaves me with two thoughts. One of the thoughts is we do have to have a separate pod one day about um the Triple H guys
Quote unquote.
that apparently are not getting the rub. Um yeah, we gotta do a separate pod because every time one of these happens, or a booking decision that we didn't necessarily see coming,
Mm-hmm.
the people that fall through the cracks, like it is becoming weirdly familiar to see somebody that previously you'd have thought Triple H will push to the moon, put in every position to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then we arrive in the Triple H era officially. And it's like these people are never heard of them before. Don't know him from, a guy on the street. Like that are suddenly booked like I've never favored them before. It's weird. It's weird. We're gonna have to have a separate pod about it. And the second thing that it leaves me with is it feels a lot like how Vince McMahon would book Bray Wyatt. Because let's be honest, Bray was amazing. But a lot of times Vince had a tendency not to like things that were not his creation and tend to book them in a light where they could still be integral, but he
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to depend on them a lot.
Yeah.
And because of that, the lack of
Quality.
quality That's the word. The lack of quality, just it got worse and worse over time.
Yeah,
That's what always happened with the Bray stuff. I Whenever Vince, what after the original Bray character, any recreation of Bray started very hot, but because it wasn't, for whatever reason, over time it would become important, but more in the background and slowly deteriorate over time. And I've watched this happen with Final Testament. They
yes.
started in a no way to lose position and have just gotten more and more
They fizzled out.
fizzled out. And this is what it's become. And I feel like it's sad because AOP was such a big, like, you couldn't have told me this when DIY was first hot, that AOP would become a tag team you never even really saw in a qualifying match before. Like,
Which is crazy.
insane. Speaking of people who never really got their just due, um, I feel like this doesn't need like a big rant, but Cedric Alexander's released. Um, and I feel like it was a situation where if Sean was not going to put him in a position to win, and because I think we stumbled on the TNA thing late,
Yeah,
because I feel like that would have been a great place for Cedric to take off and benefit. But unfortunately, things shook out the way they shook out. And I think this one's actually for the best. This is one of the releases that is a kind of a silver lining, if you will. He
yeah,
needed it.
yeah. And I don't have any gripes with it, and I don't really think he does either. Cedric did what he came to do in WWE, and I think he probably served his purpose.
Mhm.
But that's not to say it in a bad way. I think his time here was just up, and the dude's talented enough that he could go pretty much to any company he wants. He could probably have his pick of the litter
Mhm.
between AEW, TNA, MLW, whatever. I think either way you slice it, Cedric's going to bounce back, and Cedric's going to show up and do great things anywhere he goes.
I still think to this day that this whole MJF storyline is a segue to get Cedric into the Hurt Syndicate. I
Which
think this is just a way to elevate the Hurt Syndicate and give MJF something to do until they free up Cedric Alexander
which
so that
is
he can make a grand entrance
which
because
is
that's what everyone wants.
yeah, which is fine, and that's actually a pretty great idea the way you labeled it.
I just think that, he'll find his way. Like
Oh yeah, most
there's
definitely.
there's no doubt Cedric was a good release.
Yeah, him I'm not worried about whatsoever. He'll be fine.
Um, how do you feel about Sonya Deville?
Um, Now this is just bias for me. I'm indifferent on the Sonya Deville thing. I think everything they've given Sonya hasn't been great.
Mhm.
Now I don't know if that's just because she can't make it work or it's just really awful. But a lot of the things Sonya's been doing just hasn't been sticking. So I feel like look, they can only give you so much and try and revamp you, try and because they tried her as a competitor, didn't really pan out for her. Then they tried her as a manager, that didn't really pan out for her. Then they tried her as a GM, didn't work. Brought her back as a manager-ish kind of thing, still didn't work. So I mean, you can only do so much with Sonya.
Mhm. Um, I feel the same way you feel about Blair Davenport being released. I think the great thing is she's 28
Yeah,
and she's international, so she doesn't really need it per se. We weren't really putting Blair in a great position to win. She was a rare. There's always one. There's always one that's like they get called up and then you never hear from them.
yeah, that's like the Xia Li thing.
Xia Li, shoot, who else did that happen with? The lawyer chick that got drafted to Raw and was there for like a hot little minute and then she was gone and we haven't seen her since. I don't know if she got released.
Hmm.
But she came from NXT. That's how fast she was here and gone.
Yeah.
Um, so there's always one, but I hope better for Blair. But as we'll get to some of the other releases, it's not like they. I feel like they generally just didn't have a plan for some of these ladies,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Next one's the Good Brothers. I feel like this another silver lining in a way. Um,
Yeah.
if you weren't going to use them with AJ, let them go.
Yeah. And as much as it pains me, because I'm a big Carl Anderson guy, I actually really like him. This was obviously the best case scenario for them. And they even said recently that WWE now isn't WWE anymore. Like it's not the same as it was when they first got there, which you can see obviously that there's some truth to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really upset to see the Good Brothers go because I know they're going to be great anywhere they go. I have the utmost faith that both of them are going to be fine. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm reluctantly okay because I love Carl Anderson, but I'm okay.
Um, yeah, I don't have much more to say about them. It was a best case scenario. They went right back to Japan.
Hmm.
It's where they make the most money. It's where his wife lives. Why not? You're still Carl Anderson in Japan, you know?
And they started up the Talking Shop podcast again, which is always a good thing.
So, I mean, great for that. I mean, at this point, you really could just retire. You don't have to. Carl can
No,
still go for sure. I'm sure they're both of them. But at this point, like you've made enough of a name for yourself that you're pretty much good anywhere.
yeah, like you could do this part time and
If
still
they wanted, I'm sure they could call TNA tomorrow and be like, put me in the segments with NXT and we'll just go back. We'll just stay in Florida. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like if they really wanted to, like, it
yeah,
wouldn't
which
take too much to just, station somewhere and just be like, we won't work with the company, but we'll work like with the company somewhere
yeah,
where there's tapings that we don't have to do much. You know what I
and
mean?
and they could go at it with the Hardys.
And they could go at it with the Hardys, which I think would be amazing. Um, Isla Dawn, who takes me back to the Blair Davenport thing. Originally, I thought great launching pad, the three of them together. I thought
Hmm.
they was kind of a layup, and then it didn't happen. And instead, we got the big three, and I guess all the UK chicks were just forgotten about as a launching pad, uh, which clearly showed after. I don't think Alba Fire and Isla Dawn won the tag titles after that again.
No, they won the tag titles the day after Alba Fire's mom passed away. That's what it
Right,
was.
right. That was the last time.
Yeah, and I
That
think
was
that
the
was
last
really
time.
as crappy as it may be to say, I have a sneaking suspicion that was the only reason they did that.
You know, I have a working theory, and I know I said last part I have a working theory, but I have a working theory that because the things Carl Anderson said may be true, are clearly true, actually, that it's just not the same company it was before.
Hmm.
I don't believe Triple H has quite as much pull as he had before. And I think because of that, being the guy that really can have the most say in creative, that he may be in these meetings where some of these people are going, we need to let this person go. And Hunter can only put in so much of a word because he doesn't have that kind of control.
Yeah,
So
like
if they want
he's
to let
not.
somebody go, he's not the final word,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But the best that Hunter can do is hear the voices ahead of time calling for these people to go and
Hmm.
book them in the best way possible so that they
And
have some sort of a light on the way out.
yeah, try to help them out as much as they can on their way out of here.
Mhm. So that's where it leaves me. Like, I just feel like now Hunter could just be hearing who's leaving and
Mhm.
trying to book them in the best way to elevate them, which is why we may be seeing coincidences where people have great spotlights and then they're gone.
Possibly.
Um, but moving on from Eyes of Dawn, uh, I won't say much. Giovanni Vinci, I just think you got the short end of the stick, my guy.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
were
even
the
really know. Like, and I can't say that. I can't even like. I don't know. I could say you got the short end of the stick, but also like it's not like they're. Where's Ludwig Kaiser? What's he doing? Is he hurt?
yes, I believe so.
Okay, then never mind. Because I believe Ludwig Kaiser is going to be pushed when he gets back. Um, but yeah, okay, then yeah, you got the short end of the stick, my guy. I'm sorry, because you're impressive. You never weren't impressive, but
Yeah, it's just when we got a 6'6" giant or a 6'8" giant here and Gunther, and then we have a jacked out, physiqued out, insanely athletic second man, the buff
mic
bald
skills,
guy. Yeah,
chemistry,
the buff bald guy is gonna get the short end of the stick.
and let's face it, it it's statistically true that Gunther has been a champ 80% of the time he's been in the company from day one.
And
Um,
Ludwig is one of the best talkers of the
and
mid card.
and Ludwig is his Scottie Pippen.
Yeah,
Like you came in a group a little later than that, so you're not as important. It
you're
just
not you're not Dennis Rodman.
is what it is, fam. Is what it is. Um, but I think he'll do great somewhere. I can't tell you where, but somewhere we'll
Somewhere.
figure it out. Electra Lopez, again, short end of the stick, my guy. I don't know. Something just
Hmm.
wasn't clicking backstage, I guess.
Yeah,
Because it's not like they didn't try a couple times. They really tried to let you like have some room to grow, and I guess it just didn't pan out. I don't know. I don't know. This one's weird for me. Carmella.
is it though?
It's weird for me, and yes, and I'll explain it like this.
Go ahead.
In the grand scheme of things, it is weird that I will do this, and maybe it's a bias because she started with Enzo and Cass, but Carmella's proven to be as important to the mid card and upper mid card as a Miz is. She or even an R-Truth. But I say Miz because you've seen her do the R-Truth stuff. You've seen her do the 24/7 stuff.
Yeah.
You've also seen her win Money in the Bank twice, be champ twice, and it be believable within the locker room she had at the time.
Yeah.
And she's one of those champions where because she's Carmella, she's not a super threat. So she
Hmm.
can always be booked in a position with anybody as a bad guy or a good guy.
Yeah.
Like,
But
let's not act like Carmella hasn't done. She could have been, if she didn't have that baby, and I don't want to blame it on her having a baby being the reason she was released. That's not the way to clip it up. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, had she not taken as much time off because of motherhood,
yeah.
I believe that Carmella could have launched the same way Liv Morgan was launched. It's just that people were really behind Liv Morgan because she hadn't had a shot before. But Carmella had been women's tag champ. She had been multiple time women's champ. She had been the star of the show. She had been comic relief. She had been all over the card.
Yeah. But again, like you said, and I think the reason I'm okay with it is because one, she was gone for so long. Now, granted, yes, she did have a kid, but she was gone for about two to 3 years. Like
Mhm.
a lot of people miss that. She was gone for a hot minute. And granted, she probably chose most of that time to be off because she had the kid and she was raising Corey Graves' other kids.
Mhm.
So she probably chose that. And again, that's not a knock to her. I think for me, that's why I'm okay with it, is because she spent so long away already that I kind of, I don't want to say forgot about her, but it's like the division moved on and was in a better place even
Mhm.
with her not being there. They were in an
Mhm.
okay place. So I think that's ultimately why it led to her being cut.
All right. Um, I wanna. I don't want to speed through, but I want to speed through some of the next ones.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Braun Strowman. I think he was in a big show position. I could say a lot of the same things I said about Carmella about Braun Strowman in a weird sort of way. He can fill the card anywhere, so it felt weird to get rid of him. But also, if you got a guy like Braun Strowman that you're not gonna push, why keep him all around?
And I don't think this is the
So it's
last.
logical.
I don't think we fully cut Strowman like we did, but we didn't. He'll come back multiple times in like a part time kind of a thing. Like, hey, when we need Braun, we can call him. And
When we have a spot for Braun,
yeah, I think it's more like that.
I could see that, and I could see his loyalty being that. Like, whenever you guys call me, I'll be
I
there.
mean, this is the only place he knows, so sure.
Yo, I missed this, but I didn't miss this. I remember this. Shayna Baszler. Shayna
Yeah,
Baszler. Shayna
yeah.
Baszler. I said I was keeping it short and sweet, so I'm gonna say my piece about Shayna and let you have it. You know, I don't know why, but the moment she came out fresh off the Triple H era in the leather jean jacket and that first wave of these are my guys, and she kind of planted a flag by wearing that jacket. It's never been the same. And I don't know what, I really don't understand why. But she was one of the very first Triple H people that I went, that's a Triple H guy. I expect them to soar to the moon now.
Yeah.
And instead, it only got worse.
It floundered.
And I have no idea why.
It
It felt
floundered
like
the entire
suddenly I
time.
don't know you anymore. But I feel like with the stuff the Death Riders are doing, y'all can make a miracle in Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
As bad as y'all have made Marina Shafir,
Oh God, yeah.
the things y'all could do adding Shayna Baszler to that kind of a group, someone that actually has championship gold aspirations. Because remember, Marina Shafir's character is just out for violence.
Yeah.
But if y'all add a Death Rider like Shayna Baszler, who fits the group so perfectly already, and the missed opportunity momentum of Triple H not using her, and the pimped up anger that writes itself on television, I said I
Mhm.
wasn't going to go into it, but dude, what a loss.
Yeah. And it makes sense for the Death Riders.
I'll keep this one short and sweet too. Dakota Kai, go to TNA.
Love you, Dakota.
Love you, Dakota. Katana Chance, Kaden Carter.
They were never gonna use them the way they should have.
They were never.
The only legit women's tag team you had, and chalk it up to them not being able to talk, I guess.
I guess. I guess. But to be fair, you didn't stick them with the best gimmicks either.
No,
Like
they
being the
what
party girls, like
I was gonna say
word,
is that
that's
what
the gimmick. Like,
that's what they ended on, party girls, right? Like flashing light girls, like club girls. which I
You
think is
might as
actually them in real life.
you might as well have put them in glitter and play Somebody Call My Mama. Like this was bound to lose.
Yeah.
Um, Cora Jade, surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised. And she had some things to say. I won't talk
Yeah.
about it, but surprised.
So that woman was the damn future of NXT. One of the futures of NXT. When Stephanie Vaquer gets called up, when Julia gets called up, when Jordan Grace is probably getting called up, Roxanne's getting called up. Who the hell else do you have to lead that charge that's been there for as long as they've been there? Cora
Mhm.
Jade. She has a look, she has in-ring talent, she has a gimmick, everything. Like she checked all the boxes. And then now she's airing out some of the grievances that she has, which I'm not gonna get into, but it's interesting. The fact that y'all didn't use her the way y'all should have. I feel like once y'all called Roxanne up, you were like, well, we got nothing for Cora, so we might as well cut her. When Cora could have just been like Roxanne and ran the
Yeah, it's
J-
weird how that worked, isn't it?
JC Jane is the champion right now, and Cora Jade has been fired.
That part.
JC
That part
Jane is
though.
the
That
champion.
part for me. That part for me.
That's how I'm gonna leave it. Like you, of all the people, JC Jane is your champion, and Cora Jade doesn't have a job. Give me a damn break.
It's crazy. Um, all right. I'm gonna try and one comment the rest of these until we get to the big ones. Um, Gigi Dolan,
Damn
TNA.
shame.
TNA. Yeah, TNA. Damn shame though, right? Yours too. Damn shame. Eddie Thorpe, hardly knew you.
Eh.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't Um, all of Gallus. How? How? How did we not find a way to let Gallus work? Like,
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Somebody in the comments, make it make sense.
I mean, how does this not work? How
You're
does
guessing.
Gallus not work? I just don't understand. Like,
You know where it doesn't work? In NXT.
y'all should go to Japan.
That would be fire.
Y'all should go to Japan.
That would be fire.
Um, Riley Osborne, the other Chase U guy. No, I don't know. That's my comment. Sorry. Jakara Jackson. Yo, y'all didn't let them hold the titles one time and y'all let go of Jakara Jackson. That's corny, dog. That's so corny. That's so corny. I guess we know who was the Cameron in that group and who was the Naomi.
Right?
Cause dang, y'all did Shorty dirty. That was
I
so
actually I felt bad for her.
I feel bad right now. Speaking of people I feel bad for from Metaphor, y'all let go of Oral Mensa too. Like
Yeah.
they wasn't even letting my man get off. Like I thought he had a cool joint going. He had a little run, 2 month run where he was in it with Ethan Page. I thought it was fire.
Yeah. Like the man did good, and then y'all just straight up like
I even saw him
kick.
on Evolve for a little bit. Like, come on now, y'all got Evolve and y'all let my man go. Like, it's whatever. It's whatever. Rest in peace, Metaphor. I'm just biased because I love Noam Dar.
Mhm.
Um, Javier Bernal, didn't know you. Didn't know you.
Not hardly knew you, didn't know you.
Didn't know you. Danny Palmer, I think I saw her on like Evolve once.
I
I
was gonna
heard you
say I
were
know that
good.
guy.
Sorry. Sorry. All right. And here we are at the big ones. No. One more. Valhalla. I get it.
Yeah. I
I get it. I get the way you reacted to it. I get it all. I understand. Like, bro, if you're not gonna, I'm not gonna
yeah.
save breakup. You know what I mean? Let's just do it clean. Why even put myself through the mental turmoil of why I can't? I'll just go live life. Like,
It's okay.
at
I'll go
least
be
the
okay.
War Raiders were made champions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is
It's
what
okay.
it is. And then we arrive at probably the two biggest ones, um, who the wrestling world all over had a lot to say about. First off, Carlito. Um, Shortly after the announced release of the last one we'll talk about, came Carlito saying that he will not be renewing his contract, or WWE will not be renewing his contract,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I think expires in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Um, I mean, at least we had Carlito while we had Carlito. And I don't know that Hunter brought him back necessarily having a spot for him, more so just giving the people what they wanted. And I appreciate Hunter for that. I do wish we got a little more Carlito in the ring, but I think he did what the people wanted to do and then booked his way around it.
So I came into this for the Carlitos spot to be a little on edge, but after stewing in it for the last couple days and thinking about it, I've come to this conclusion. It's like you said, we got Carlito for a little while when we wanted him, and he did great. It sucks that he's going to be gone. However, and I thank WWE for doing it this way as opposed to just straight up releasing him. They're letting his contract run the course. So that way he doesn't have 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Literally at Friday, that Monday or whatever it is, that last Monday of his contract when it expires, boom, he could jump to another company on Tuesday.
And I feel like he won an out of company championship like a
I,
couple days before the announcement too. So
yeah, they did. They let him go wrestle in his dad's promotion and win the WWC heavyweight championship, which is his father's highest championship. And they do have a partnership with World Wrestling Council now.
mm,
So while Carlito's contract is expiring and he's going to World Wrestling Council, there is a working partnership there between WWC and WWE. So that's a plus. Most likely means we'll get Carlito one more time in like a Rumble spot or something like that.
mm-hmm.
So I don't think this is the complete end of Carlito, but
Yeah, he'll probably just do appearances or legend contracts or what have you.
yeah, like a Legends deal kind of thing. Spit an apple in somebody's face.
You know, feature him on every game for the next 5 years,
Please
something
and
like that.
thank you. Because I need the backstabber in my move set.
Facts. Um, love Carlito. A shame we didn't get like one U.S. title run. We didn't get like one challenge where you had a mic off with L.A. Knight and then spit in his face.
Yeah,
That would have
that'd have
been
been great.
just one really good Carlito run would have been nice, but it's okay.
Hmm.
And then we get to who I think people are calling like this release was a cultural shift in the locker room.
Hmm.
This is not coming from me. This is coming from the wrestling people that make the wrestling comments that actually wrestle. The Bubba Ray Dudleys of the world. Um, Ron Killings, R-Truth, announced his release and shocked basically everyone. Not because he was huge on the card, but also because you just finished fighting John Cena. We were booking more stuff. We were
Yeah.
booking a whole other run for Truth. And this felt like, if any moment for an R-Truth character, the epitome of what could be done. And now he's gone.
So here's how I'm looking at it. The man re-signed with the company in 2008 after being in TNA for a couple years. Now, before that, he was in the WWE in 98. So let's just take 98 out and let's just go with the 2008 one. So he was there, he was back for 17 years. Most wrestling fans right now weren't even born yet when R-Truth came back to the WWE for a second time. Like the core audience that they look for is kids. Most of the kids weren't even born when R-Truth re-signed. That's how long R-Truth has been here, and has never been bad. Like I don't mean bad as in like character wise, like a heel. I mean he has never done anything bad storyline wise or story wise. The man has been golden in everything he does. Who else gets over an imaginary friend?
Seriously.
Like who the 24/7 title wouldn't have been as relevant as it was without R-Truth. At one point in time, it was like the second most exciting title in the WWE just because R-Truth was holding it and you didn't know what the hell he was gonna do.
Yeah,
Like
he reminds me of the Crash Holly of hardcore championships.
like he took Crash Holly and made it 10 times better. Just because of his comedic flair. And then you add Carmella into the mix with it.
Right.
And then his battling with Jinder trying to get the title and Drake Maverick.
He got so many other people over just being over with the championship.
Him and Tozawa.
Yeah, because they had to carry like 5, 6, 7 people at a time, every segment.
Yeah,
Crazy.
so I mean one of the top merch sellers in the company just put on a banger with Cena, and you could tell like it hurts. This one definitely hurts. And Bubba Ray said it best. I don't think WWE realized just how much of an impact R-Truth had on professional wrestling and on their product as a whole. They were probably thinking, okay, people will be a little upset that we cut R-Truth, whatever. There was a paradigm shift when everybody was mad. I didn't see one singular person that was like, meh, it's R-Truth, whatever. Everybody is pissed. You got a lot of mad fans, and myself included. I even told you to the point where I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to give WWE a break this week and just watch AEW. And I'm sticking true to that right now. Like
we are missing the beginning of it as we're recording this too, but
it's okay. But we're still watching it anyway. But I have not watched anything WWE related this week at all.
It's tough.
And I don't. And even with Money in the Bank coming up, I don't think that I will.
I watched Raw. Didn't feel worth it.
No, I gave them 30 minutes. They didn't reel me in 30 minutes. So I shut it off and I said, all right, that's it for this week. And I think that's what I'm going to do next week too. I'm going to just give them 30 minutes, see how it is. They don't reel me in. Nah, reel me in.
I'm not mad about it.
Because now you got me mad.
I'm not mad about it.
AEW is going to start getting my attention.
And I liked R-Truth before he became R-Truth, before he became comical. I liked him as Ron Killings in TNA. I think we both did.
Yeah. With Pac-Man Jones.
But he really stole the show as R-Truth on screen, and he is like Bubba Ray put it best. He's one of those people that's been around so long that it just doesn't make sense.
Dude, he was around when Obama became president. When you think about it, how many terms have we gone through? That's a crazy thing. I think it's like 14,000 days.
Yeah, it's insane, and I don't know, man. Like, I can't say that. I feel like again, this is one of those things where Hunter might have known ahead of time, so he pulled the trigger on R-Truth a little earlier than we had suspected, and I don't know, man.
My
Legends contract, Hall of Fame, maybe coming.
Oh, please, for the love of God, if he's not in the Hall of Fame, something is wrong in TKO world. I mean, something's wrong there now.
I don't think it would be necessarily a bad marketing move or response to the outrage to almost immediately offer Truth a Legends deal. Because I feel like some of the problem might have been however much he'd been getting paid. Because I'd imagine his last contract was with Vince.
Yeah,
So I imagine money
and
could have been an issue.
It possibly could have been because Vince loved him some R-Truth, and who can blame him? Like for as much as we hated Vince and the stuff he was doing towards the tail end, one of the things we appreciated was that he loved R-Truth just like the rest of us.
So
that was like actually one of Vince's redeeming qualities was that he loved R-Truth so much.
Yeah, he gave a lot of black people a break, and so Brock Cole.
Thank God we kept Truth away from him for the most part.
That's why he never won the world championship.
Brock was always in the wings waiting for him.
We knew the end was always going to be Brock.
Brock was the end
like,
game.
I can't do that. The truth. You got to stay in the main card.
He was going to stand over him like the dude from The Godfather. They killed my boy. Look what they did to my boy.
Terrible.
Oh, we're going to hell.
Any lasting comments on the releases?
TKO, what the hell are you doing? What's going on in TKO world? Enlighten me. You know, all these releases that are going on, some of them, granted, sure, warranted. Most of them don't know what the hell you're doing. And then the potential rumors of the other ones that are in the wings, i.e. your Miz's, your Crosses. You got to get something together here because it's not, the math ain't mathing, and I'm a teacher, and it still ain't mathing. So please make it make sense.
I'll leave it on this, man. We got to make sure that we take note of who needs to be a staple in the locker room. We have to keep the R-Truths. We have to keep the Natties. We have to keep certain people around for the betterment of morale, for the betterment of the locker room, for just out of respect, some of these people. So, you know, in the future, like, I think this is the first example of let's be careful who we let go. With that being said, man, we've talked, I think, even longer than we thought we'd talk. We'll probably have to break this in two. But no biggie. If you guys have any other comments that we didn't say, please leave them in there. If you liked it, if you've been here this long, you should have liked by now. I shouldn't even have to tell you to like or hit the link in the description. I mean, we're pretty much family at this point.
Exactly.
But there is a link tree in the description if you want to follow the website, Dangerous Jobbers website, IG, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. I have been Stevie Jobber.
I have been Dangerous Duke.
And this has been the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. And Duke, you've been released. No, I'm kidding. Please stay up, stay blessed, and Duke, as always,
stay dangerous.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?